Welcome to the Trump 2024 convention, brought to you by Project 2025. This week in the horrible city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you'll see the best of the Trump Project 2025 party. It's a bold vision for a bright future. With Trump Project 2025, you'll love how new tariffs will make everything more expensive and set off runaway inflation. We know you'll appreciate paying for the big tax cut our struggling billionaires need. When you seniors are done freeloading, check out Project 2025's plan to end Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So get out of that nursing home bed and get back to work. And ladies, this convention has so much in store for you. With Project 2025, you'll learn how good you'll have it in the kitchen. Girls, if your marriage isn't working out, you'll need Project 2025's helpful tips to keep the romance alive, even if he's abusive, because we're getting rid of divorce. And if Mr. Wrong gets you pregnant, welcome to motherhood, because we've ended Roe v. Wade and we're going to criminalize birth control. And minorities, well, you didn't need those silly voting rights anyway. For you Jews, Muslims, Mormons, and other fake religions, you'll get a head start on learning America is a Christian nation. Project 2025 is Donald Trump's plan for your future, and it couldn't be any brighter.
Project 2025 Bright Future Guarantee applies to white evangelical Christian men only. Other conditions may apply. Offer not valid in a functioning republic.
Damn, dude. Yo, that is hard. I'm sorry. That's just hard to paint.
I wish they would make like some documentaries or something.
I know, right? That would be absolutely fantastic. Welcome to the show. We have another interesting show. A lot has happened since our last show. I feel like we say that every single week.
All right, but a lot has happened. A lot.
I know. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple days. Donald Trump was shot. Yes, we have. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, we're going to do our best to stay rooted in reality. However, I am going to make some very bold claims on this episode, and I'm going to try and back it up the best I can. First off, I want to say, obviously, on this show, if you've ever watched our show before, we do not promote violence. We never have, and we condemn it in all forms. We don't want to beat Donald Trump like that. We want to beat him in the ballot box. We want to beat him in the courtroom. We want to see him suffer the consequences of his freaking actions. No, we don't want him to just become a martyr. That's not how we want it. We don't condone violence.
It's odd because it seems like the right's trying to make him a martyr, even though he's not dead.
They are. See, all right. So this is why I'm going to make some bold claims tonight, because some people are going to think I'm crazy. In Project 2025, they specifically state that they know this is their last chance, that 2024 is their last opportunity to pull off their plan. These people are trying to overthrow democracy. Okay, so if you're trying to overthrow democracy and you know this is your last opportunity, how far are you willing to go? And the other reason I'm going to make these claims is just because the reaction from right-wing politicians and right-wing influencers, because as soon as Donald Trump, no information had come out. As soon as Donald Trump got shot, it was Biden's fault. It was left-wing rhetoric. Are you out of your fucking minds? I'm sorry, but the only people in this country that are calling for a civil war is the right wing, not the left. So all of this bullshit where they're trying to project all this stuff onto us, don't let them do it. We're not going to stop calling them out for what they are. A bunch of fascists that are trying to destroy this country from within. We're going to keep calling it out every single day. And
also,
we're going to...
also, it was a Republican that shot at the president. But the right
come
wants
to
you
find
to
out,
think
you know,
that. Wait. Was it a Biden supporter that did it? Did Biden order him to do it? Which, by the way, thanks to the Supreme Court, I mean, would technically be legal. So which is it, left or right? I mean, who's telling the truth here? I can guarantee you one thing. The left is sitting back and watching the right consume itself over this. And that is kind of my perspective on today's show. And I think they dovetail perfectly because Jeremy's put a lot of time in looking at some stuff that'll make you wonder what the hell actually happened. And I'm focused on watching what the monsters are saying about it, but with the rest of us that actually see what's going on, see whether or not we know the extent of what happened. We know that there's an attempt to forget about Project 2025, an attempt to forget about the past. And let's just say we're not the only people, and you viewers are not the only people that think that way. And that's what we're going to try and show today.
Okay, exactly. And these are more reasons why I'm going to make the claims I'm going to make tonight. Donald Trump has faked a union autos worker rally or a United Auto Worker rally with fake auto workers and fake union workers. Donald Trump faked a visit to a bodega and just had it lined up outside with a bunch of Trump supporters to make it look like he had a bunch of support. Donald Trump faked a visit to a black church and pretended it was full of black folks when it was full of white people. Donald Trump has lied about crowd sizes for every single event he's done. He has stolen classified documents. He incited an insurrection. He meets with dictators. He has secret rendezvous on the tarmac, a remote tarmac at Dulles Airport next to a Russian diplomat plane. And then he meets with Viktor Orban right after Viktor Orban had met with Putin. And then we got a Supreme Court justice going to fucking Russia. Sorry, I got to calm down because this episode.
And what just came out today that was authenticated, RFK Jr.'s son actually leaked this phone call where very close proximity after the shooting, RFK Jr. is on the phone with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump says, and we're going to win this. And RFK says, yes, we are. So, again, we are not establishing that there's any sort of real conspiratorial nonsense going on. We do not have enough evidence. We have enough evidence to suspect that what we see isn't the full story, but the right is trying to push a narrative that is just simply not reality.
Right, exactly. And side note also, Donald Trump, after getting shot, called RFK Jr., but guess who Donald Trump has not called, I don't think even as of yet? The family of the person who died. Actually, he hasn't called any of the families of the victims at his rally. He played golf the next day without a bandage on his ear, by the way. But he hasn't taken that. You know who did call them? Joe Biden. Joe Biden called Donald Trump's
And
supporters.
do you want to know? Oh, that reminds me. I missed one thing I want to show today. So while we're seeing some videos, I'm going to look for that. But it's basically a statement by the wife of the fireman who was killed. And let me tell you, it's something. So
yeah,
let's go on for now.
Okay. My first claim of the night is I don't think Donald Trump was hit by a bullet. I've looked at it every different way, and there is a picture. It's not an extremely clear picture, but there's a picture clear enough where you can see one of his teleprompters visibly damaged. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Raw story. Early claims Trump hit by glass fragments undermined by New York Times photos. Of course, law enforcement officials claimed to different sources the president was not grazed by a bullet, but rather glass shards. So I'm not the only one. And I don't think this was staged. We'll get to that. I don't think it was fake. Obviously, this actually happened. People actually got hurt. Someone lost their life. But we'll get into that more of that because we can't seem to find a whole lot of information on the shooter other than he was a registered Republican.
Well,
and I don't think and just so everybody knows, like this whole $15 donation that even the media is focused on, the kid would have been 17 years old in 2021. You can't donate money to you can't make political contributions.
Doesn't work that way. That way.
Another Thomas Crooks in Pennsylvania probably donated $15 back in 2021. The Thomas Crooks who shot Donald Trump has been a Republican. His family is Trump supporters. Every interview they did with the neighbors says they've had Trump flags and Trump signs in their yard. These people are MAGA. So one of the conclusions I came to is that this kid he was a loner. He was bullied. We have an interview with one of his former classmates. And I think, see, when somebody's a loner like this and they're bullied their entire lives and they don't fit anywhere, they're perfect candidates for hate groups. Because they're easily influenced and all they want is to fit in.
You know who does that?
The
Taliban. They set rules that keep you dejected and miserable, much like the American Taliban would like to impose. Right. And then what they do is they create extremists and they guide them to what would give them any sort of release and any sort of sense of meaning. That's why white supremacist groups, hate groups, they target people that are insecure, that are bullied. They give them a gun and a sense of fake fraternity, and then they go turn them loose on society.
Right. So what I think may have happened, and this is obviously completely speculation, and we may never find out the full story. He bought into this MAGA stuff, and something crushed his belief in this whole MAGA bullshit, and then it caused him to snap, and he decided to go ahead and take it out on Donald Trump.
And it's not unreasonable, because despite what Donald Trump wants you to think, not only is his support as a cult much less than it was. I mean, let's face it, none of them really know how to take care of themselves, get vaccines, or can read very well. So they're kind of dropping off quick, but they're also starting to fracture. You have groups within MAGA that hate J.D. Vance. You have groups within MAGA evangelicals that are like, wait, why did you soften your stance on abortion? Are you turning your back on us now? Donald Trump, the eminent grifter, can't keep his bullshit straight. So his own base is starting to turn against itself first, and inevitably maybe against him.
Exactly. I mean, they're turning on him for J.D. Vance. I forget. It wasn't Tim Cook. It wasn't Charlie Kirk. It was Nick Fuentes went on this racist tirade because J.D. Vance's wife is Indian and he has Indian kids. And now they hate J.D. Vance which is so racist and so ignorant. But that's the party. That's the party. Like, what cracked me up? Let me grab my phone. Okay. Side note. Amber Rose was she introduced the RNC event, okay?
Right after a known racist and bigot, by the way, in Charlie Kirk.
Yes, and this is what she says, okay? I'm a model. She forgot OnlyFans. I'm a model and entrepreneur, but most importantly, I'm a mother. The best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump. Tell me you have no idea what you're supporting without telling me you have no idea.
Is your best chance in life canceling school lunch programs, not getting vaccinated, not having a thorough education about history, not understanding civics, having no right to your body, like having no health care, having...
Yeah, right. And then you want your kids to have fewer rights than you did. Okay, great. Go ahead and support that. She also said... I realize Trump and MAGA doesn't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. Well, we're going to show you some videos.
What?
I swear to God, Amber Rose said that shit. First of all, your career is going to be over as soon as the Republicans get elected because OnlyFans will no longer exist because they're going to ban pornography across the board. So you're an idiot. Yeah, she actually said that. But we're going to show you some videos because the rest of the RNC event so far has been nothing but racism, homophobia, fear of immigrants, transphobia. It's literally been everything. And Rudy Giuliani falling drunk on his ass.
We got a troll. Is this our first official troll?
Oh, you can't handle the facts. Okay, you're not gonna like this show. You're not gonna like this show.
This is good.
We're not the fear mongers. We're the realists. Okay? We're the ones that look at everything reality.
Oh, many leftists will register Republican to make an offset vote. It's common practice because we Republican.
Many leftists will register Republican.
Stop.
Wow, the delusions are amazing. Okay, so this is another problem I have with this attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The slowest Secret Service extraction in the history of the world. I'm going to show you the video, okay? It's 1 minute and 32 seconds long. From the minute they stand Donald Trump up, who's first concern was where is his shoe? Oh, you just got shot and your first worry is where is my shoe?
Where's my shoe? Where's my shoe? Anybody see my shoe?
I'm sure you can afford new shoes, dipshit. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, the Secret Service job in an active shooter situation, they have to assume there's more than one shooter because they don't know. They don't know. So they have to assume there's possible multiple shooters. And their job is to get the president or whoever they're protecting, in this case, Donald Trump's fat ass, from the podium to the car as fast as possible. Not stop for photo ops. Not stop so Donald Trump can pump his fist and expose his head to a potential second shooter. This is the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my life. And this is why I have doubts. I'm going to show you the best angle I could find. And if you want to look more, watch after they get in the vehicle how slow they drive away from an active shooter situation. Somebody just tried to assassinate the former president of the United States.
Where's
and
my
these people
shoe?
are leaving like they're going to pick up Donald Trump's McDonald's order.
Where's my
Actually,
shoe?
they probably
should
would have
drag
left
him.
faster.
Let me
for
tell
Donald
you
Trump's
something.
McDonald's
Their
order.
job is not to coddle the person that they are protecting, not to let them know everything's safe. You know what they do? They jump on them, shove them to the ground, and then drag them the hell out of there. By the way, there's a big giant armored car not that far away that they should have been dragging him to and stuffing him in. And instead, they're all like, we got him. USA okay in the USA.
And yeah, they should have taken Trump against his will, not stopped when he goes, wait.
Where's my shoe?
Where's my shoe? Oh no, my lift fell out of my shoe.
Oh.
You'll see it fly out. All right, well, here's the video, okay?
Get that son of a bitch.
Look at everyone
They should be moving.
and
They should be
around.
moving.
Doing nothing.
They should be moving. Why?
Someone just said
They
it.
should be moving.
Like, what's happening?
What is
They're all just
happening right
standing
now,
there.
y'all?
It looks like, look at that. It literally looks like they're filming a shitty movie. They wouldn't
Bro,
let
they
him
should
stand
be
there.
in the fucking car by now.
He should not be standing there cheering and then posing him. He should not be walking. They should be dragging his ass. And everyone's just cool.
I'm sorry. Look at this. Look at
If you
this.
just saw that guy get shot at, you're gonna sit there like a lump of shit.
Still not gone.
Oh, I hope they get whoever the
Still not
fuck did
gone.
that. They better have gone whoever the fuck.
Still not gone.
Did they find the asshole who did it?
Still there. Tell me I'm paranoid. Please, somebody tell me I am out of my mind.
Look, at the very least, we're not dealing with professional people. And what I mean by that is, let's not forget, Mike Pence didn't want to get in the car provided him by Donald Trump's Secret Service because he said, and I quote, he did not trust them. Okay? Maybe there's a reason that Joe Biden's dog commander keeps biting Secret Service agents. Because I'll tell you right now, not one of those agents acted appropriately. Not one of those agents acted with any urgency demanded of the situation. So, at the very least, like everything in Trump's life, he surrounds himself by incompetent yes men, and he probably just has a bunch of people that get him Diet Coke and McDonald's whenever he wants, and they're happy to debase themselves because every one of those people failed to do their job at that moment.
I had truly accepted that this was an assassination attempt until I saw that video and how slow they took a presidential candidate, a former president, how slow they extracted him. That bothers me to no end.
At the very least,
the fact they let him stop twice, not once, but twice for a photo op.
And I'll tell you what, again, I'm going to present the realistic side, the incompetent side. Donald Trump does not surround himself with people that go against his wishes, whether it's the dumbest little thing or something horrible and huge. Donald Trump learned, because he didn't succeed in taking over our country, that he needs people that will do whatever he says. I guarantee you he has managed to weed through the people that actually respect their job and surround himself with personal bodyguards that will do whatever he says. And if he says, stop, let me cheer, they're going to do it because they've already sold their morality to this man. So whatever you want to assume is what we're watching, something is amiss.
But this is why people doubt this, because Donald Trump lies about everything. They're attempting a coup. They're trying to overthrow the United States government. I mean, people need to start thinking a little bit more like this is like a Netflix movie almost. The conspiracy is so bad. And then to make it worse, they put Kevin Roberts, BFF, as the VP candidate. That's the only reason J.D. Vance got the VP nod is because he's personal friends with the Heritage Foundation. He wasn't on anybody's radar. He was mentioned maybe a couple times as a possible, but he wasn't on the short list. And all of a sudden, I wonder how all those people feel that were tap dancing and stuff for Donald Trump and licking his butthole to try and win that VP nod. Oh, I hope they're home pissed off right now.
Well, we're going to be doing a show on Vance, and we're going to do is contrast what Vance said about Donald Trump before Donald Trump dangled the power medallion in front of him. Because once Donald Trump was like, "Hey, I'll promote you and endorse you for candidacy for Senate," then suddenly it was, "Oh, everything I said about him was wrong," and now suddenly, no, Donald Trump is our best hope. So we're going to go into that. And let me tell you, J.D. Vance, scumbag, bigot, racist, piece of garbage.
Exactly. And then the other reasons I have a problem with this whole scenario is the reaction from the right. They have chosen this to, and I've heard so many of them say that, oh, they almost started a civil war. If Donald Trump would have been killed, we would have, like, I've heard so many of them say it that it almost sounds scripted.
They
were told to say that.
We are talking about a bunch of weird pseudo-macho scumbag racist riding on a horse with hood people that really believe that they see themselves with these images they create of Trump with muscles and guns. They see themselves because they have allowed themselves to be portrayed that way. And why wouldn't you want to believe that when you're told you're an American patriot? They want this civil war. They want to prove themselves how much they love America with guns, because that's all the right promotes is violence and guns and hate. And who talks about the Civil War constantly? The MAGA people. No one on the left is like, man, we should definitely start a civil war over this. You know what we say? Go vote. And the right's like, see, they're telling people to vote. See, that's because they want a civil war.
Bro, I even found out today that the Republicans apparently have some kind of secret list of people that are gun owners and shit. Like, they're actually targeting gun owners. People that are more prone to their style of fascism and ideology.
Gee, I wonder why.
That is sick. That is truly sick. All right, so let's get into some of these videos. Let me play they interviewed one of the kids that went to school with him, and I thought this interview was important just because it just shows the kid probably went through hell his entire life. You know what I mean? So something made this kid snap and decide that he's going to grab a ladder and some ammo and then his dad's AR and go shoot a president.
Did he get that ammo at a vending machine that's available in several states now? Sorry.
No, but I did hear he went to Home Depot the night before and bought a ladder. And I'm still trying to figure out how he got the ladder to the back of that building.
Wait.
Like, there's so much wrong with this.
I'm going to have fun with our troll today.
We made him just for you. All right, so this is the interview with his classmate.
As we've been here, there's a large media presence here. You've had members of the community come and approach us, including one person who said he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
This was high school.
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
All right, so the kid obviously, was targeted his whole life. I mean, yeah. Not that I've been a victim of bullying, but yeah, I can relate to not fitting in.
There's no point where the history of the shooter should be left out. And it isn't an excuse, but we have to understand things. And unfortunately, we live in a civilization where humans like to treat other humans like shit, and bullying happens, and bullying will affect the developing mind. Then when you add in political rhetoric on any side that has it, that's extreme and inflammatory, and you start putting all your belief in your leaders as if they are some sort of fix to all your problems. They might be the cause of most of them, but one single person is not going to solve your problems, least alone the president of the United States. That's literally not how this works.
I mean, because obviously this kid knew he was going to die. You don't go to attempt to shooting the president and think you're going to actually walk away from that shit.
Yeah, no, he wasn't going to just put the Harry Potter thing on and disappear.
No, I've been in a place before in my life where you feel like you have nothing left to live for and like there's no other way out. You know what I mean? So, and people, when they get to that point in their life, they do irrational things, including commit acts of horrendous violence. Yep. So, all right, but let me show the next video because this has been out for 2 days. This is from TMZ. And so far, not many people are talking about this, but somebody, at least one person at this rally knew this guy because here's a video of them screaming his last name over and over again at the top of their lungs. You can't not understand what she's saying. So let me play this video. But somebody at this rally either went with him or knew who he was. And so far, they haven't been interviewed, at least not by the media.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
What are you doing?
I apologize for the video because of screaming and stuff like that, but obviously somebody there is yelling the name Crooks. Unless you heard something else. This is not one of those TikTok videos where I tell you that you're going to hear this word and then you hear that word. You know what I mean? It's not one of those videos. So yeah, there's just so many layers of this, and I feel like we're not getting the whole story. We as the public are not getting the whole story. Donald Trump is not released any medical records. Any medical records, and no offense, but if you got shot in the ear by an AR-15, even if it grazed you, you're gonna have a chunk missing or something. But apparently, Donald Trump went to the hospital, did not stay overnight, and did not get stitches, and felt good enough the next day to go golfing. So I don't buy that. I don't buy for a second that he was actually hit with a.
But he did, he didn't have any patch on his ear when he was golfing. But he did have a giant patch on his ear at the convention. It's weird.
I forgot damn it! I wish I had a picture of that. It's literally barely enough to.
Wait a minute! Wait! Troll didn't hear it, so I guess it's wrong. All right, Troll. Sorry.
You heard Tom and Bob. Get your hearing checked. What?
No, but it's fun. I'm going to keep tab. I will, no, because I'm going to make it my duty. I will let everyone watching know every time Troll says something, because I got to thank Troll because they are taking time out of their evening to watch us. Yeah. And they must love us so much that they can't stop because they're still watching. So I'll keep everyone updated.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't even bother giving any more time. We have more.
All right, maybe one or two if it's something really funny, but all right.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to know why we don't feel bad about the situation though? Like, I didn't feel bad for a second. I'm sorry, because in my opinion, Donald Trump brought this on himself. He's the one going around the country quoting Hitler, demonizing entire populations, trying to overthrow the government from within. And they're the only side talking about civil war. So I don't feel sad. I don't feel upset for 1 second.
Well, they're the only side that is consistently hinting at, being sarcastic about, and outright fomenting violence.
You guys have a giant erection right now. When I say the word civil war, you probably get a giant boner. I guarantee most of you do, because I don't know what your fantasization.
Does it have one of those little gray hats on it?
I don't know why y'all are fantasizing about a civil war. It's the stupidest idea ever. We have the military and NATO on our side. You guys have a bunch of people in demolition ranch gear running around. Okay, so anyway, this is why I don't feel bad, though. Not for a second, because this is Donald Trump making fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband, who was almost murdered in his home by one of Trump's supporters.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
Very, very empathetic. Such a nice guy. Just could feel that love coming off of him. Now, let me compare that to Joe Biden. This is how part of Joe Biden's address to the nation after he found out what happened, condemning political violence, condemning it, not encouraging it, not talking about civil war, condemning violence.
No mixed language.
I spoke with Donald Trump. Sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight, in fact, who we are as Americans.
Thank you. Now, that's a real leader with a functioning brain who cares about people talking. Oh, this is so frustrating. I just don't understand how people still support Donald Trump after all of this.
Yes.
Yeah, call him. We actually have that. I saw you brought that up, didn't you, Mike?
There you go. So basically, this is the widow of the man that was killed, a bystander, if you will. And this is a quote from Helen. Joe Biden called me. I don't have any will towards Joe Biden. He didn't do anything to my husband. A 20-year-old despicable kid did. Our family has not heard from Donald Trump. Now, what's really interesting is she actually goes on to say that she did not pick up the phone and speak to Biden because that wouldn't be what her husband would have wanted. Is that a little weird? Sure.
Yeah.
If that's how you want to handle it, go right ahead. But the fact that she handled it that way and then said what she said, explicitly saying that Biden had nothing to do with it and putting the blame on the shooter, for pulling the trigger, okay?
Mhm.
Because, yeah, there might be inspirations and things that are encouraging to people to do horrible things, but someone's got to choose to pull the trigger. But she explicitly says Biden had nothing to do with this.
Exactly.
So that's someone who was at a MAGA rally, okay? Let's think about that.
Yeah.
So
If the
already,
wife of the guy that
is
died,
someone capable of human thought and human emotion. That's good.
Exactly.
I didn't think it was possible.
All right, so you saw Biden's reaction, very rational. The wife's reaction, rational. She's, she said her piece. She doesn't blame Biden. She blames the kid with the gun, the shooter, which is how it should be. Well, unfortunately, nobody on the right seems to be blaming the Trump supporter that shot him. They want to blame us, the liberals. They want to blame the Democrats. They want to blame Joe Biden. Everybody. Donald Trump's not a victim here. Donald Trump is the cause.
Donald Trump is the victim of an attempted assassination. But what caused the assassination attempt, in part and in a large part, is the extreme freaking rhetoric that Donald Trump not only has promoted, but used, encouraged, and smiled while doing so. We're going to show it.
The last time we had a president attempted to be assassinated was Reagan. That's 40 years ago. So in 40 years, we have not had something like this even attempted or even got to the point where they were going to pull it off at least. And in recent years, we've had crazy people trying to find Obama's house, people swatting judges, people swatting members of Congress, and it's all coming from the right. So I don't want to hear any of this bullshit that the rhetoric from the left is what caused all the violence. We're the one trying to stop your dumb
Don't forget, at January 6th, when they finally convinced him to get on to a camera and say something, instead of saying, stop, go home, this is wrong, he finagled around that and then said, I love you, thank you, good people, all that bullshit. You can't condemn something but also tell people they're great and you love them. Be strong, be a leader. At that moment, it wasn't about your next election. It wasn't about the poll numbers anymore. It wasn't about anything. So the rhetoric that you have brought up, that you have caused, this is the world you created, Donald Trump.
Right.
This is what you wanted.
Thank you. You want to be a brutal dictator? Well, guess what? Assassination attempts come with the territory. Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but I know of at least a dozen occasions where Adolf Hitler was almost killed by his own people because they didn't like him. So don't think it can't happen. You want to be a brutal dictator? Guess what? This comes with the territory. So enjoy. This is like you said, this is the world you created. Now you freaking live in it. So, all right. So let's look at some posts. Mike Collins, who I can't remember if it's a senator or he's a dipshit Republican who doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
This is right after the shooting. No evidence. Yeah, Joe Biden sent the orders. And the reason they're saying this is because they're taking a sentence Joe Biden said about putting a metaphorical target on Donald Trump, talking about focusing their energy on defeating him in the election. So they're taking that one sentence, those few words, and saying that was Joe Biden's violent rhetoric. Joe Biden has never once, ever said anything that would be even construed as violent rhetoric. This is what pisses me off about this stuff. Okay, so what did Marjorie Taylor Greene post? She's even crazier. Democrats wanted this to happen. Again, this is that night. They've wanted Trump gone for years, and they're prepared to do anything to make that happen. Then she calls out specific members of Congress, Jasmine Crockett included, Barbara Lee, other people, because they wanted to terminate Secret Service protection.
Well, it didn't help much. So what the hell was the difference?
They didn't stop the guy, and they damn sure didn't rush him to the vehicle. So if there was a second shooter, Trump would probably be dead right now.
How about this? He would have been in the exact same position had they canceled his Secret Service detail than if they didn't.
Right. Exactly the same position. All right, so let's look at what J.D. Vance says, his new VP. today is just not some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist,
yes,
who must be stopped at all costs. The
Not by
rhetoric
voting.
that rhetoric led directly to Donald Trump's. I'm not
this
calling
is
him president.
this is what they're going to do now. They're going to use the severity of what the situation is, the fact that Donald Trump, and they know what Trump is because they themselves are that. They want to control your life. Okay, they tell you that. Look at what J.D. Vance has said, done, voted on, and commented about. Do that research on your own, and you'll see exactly why J.D. Vance was picked, by the way. But this is exactly, they are going to use language that is benign and make it sound more violent. Yes, Donald Trump is he is an authoritarian who will be a absolute dictator if and when he's ever put back in office. And he should be stopped by all legal means necessary. No one has ever said we got to kill him. No one on the left has ever suggested that. No politician, no one, not Joe Biden. If they have, I don't want to associate with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Show us that comment. Show us where someone on the left has said that.
Yeah, please, by all means. We'd love to hear it. All right, so let's go to some other reactions. We have some videos. What about Lauren Boebert? Because she knows a lot, right? So let's see what she thinks about this attempted assassination. And keep in mind, this is before any evidence, again, came out. They didn't even know the guy's name at this point.
I believe that much of the rhetoric from the left has escalated to this moment. Just last week, we saw Joe Biden trying to excuse his poor performance at the debate and get that behind him and say, now we need to put Trump in a bullseye. President Trump was literally put in a bullseye after the president of the United States, the sitting president of the United States, called for him to be put in a bullseye.
I'd like to clarify what you just said. Do you believe that President Joe Biden bears any responsibility for what happened today, or does the responsibility for the shooting lie with the shooter?
I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today. Kyle Clark, an innocent supporter of President Trump, someone who loved President Trump and was there exercising their right to support him, lost their life today.
I want to make 2 points.
Victim mentality is
one.
Insane
The guy had to actually extract her own point from her stupid face because she couldn't make it on her own. And you know what? I don't need the second point. Just keep going. I'm not going to waste time on Lauren's stupid head, hand job, smoky vape, Boebert.
Future OnlyFans model.
Wouldn't even go to her own son's arraignment.
She gonna be out of a job soon. Okay, well, let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene said on television. And this is why these people are just scum. These people are scum. Truly the scum of the earth. Like, we are talking about the dredges of society right now.
You know, it is a battle of good and evil. That is exactly what this is. And I feel it every time I go into Washington. Look at the views and the policies of the left. This is the party that is literally trying to destroy God's creation and tell children they can be more than two genders, which is an absolute lie and a complete attack on God. The Democrat Party is the party of abortion, murdering the innocent unborn. The Democrat Party is the party of violence, just as Ben stated. And just as we have witnessed for years now. Never forget it was Antifa and the radical left that nearly burned down Washington, D.C. on President Trump's inauguration night in 2017. And then they continued to riot for years. And then the horrific riots night after night in 2020 after George Floyd died from a drug overdose, by the way. As all of the reports have said, and toxicology reports have said, the Democrat Party is the party of pedophiles. The Democrat Party is flat out evil.
I'm sorry. She just, in 1 minute, and that clip was only 1 minute and 5 seconds, she went off on trans people. She got real racist and started talking about black people. And then she called all of us pedophiles.
And said, oh, wait, we're pure evil. So this is the problem. they use metaphor and rhetoric, especially of the religious kind, to get their messages across. So they didn't say that we're so evil we should be killed. But when you talk to a group of people that believe wholeheartedly every minute of their life, deeply in their faith, that evil needs to be fought and that their country is being overtaken by evil.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, you have the right to shoot anyone you want, get all the guns you want, the ammo's at the 7-Eleven. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And the reason, like, these people think somehow these people are convinced, like MAGA is brainwashed. They think they're somehow patriotic. They think somehow they're doing the right thing for America by electing a guy who's never worked a hard day in his life and wouldn't piss on you to put you out if you're on fire. But somehow he's convinced them that he loves them. Donald Trump's going to fix everything. How?
Oh, yes.
We have no idea because he's never proposed an actual policy.
Was he waiting to fix things in his second term? That's why he did absolutely nothing in his first term?
Yeah, because he had 4 years and didn't do a damn thing. Maybe he's just a slow starter and needs 8 years to really like accomplish stuff. Unlike Joe Biden, who's accomplished more than any other modern president in their first term. You know.
How many years does the Republican Congress need to do anything? Sorry, different show. Sorry.
At least 2. It's up for debate. Okay, so let's look at another problem within our society, and that would be Jesse Waters from Fox News.
God.
Listen, this is the stuff they say on Fox.
This guy grew on a troll's ass.
You have not seen this video yet, Mike. It's ridiculous, but I'll just play it and we'll go from there.
Last night proved the American political climate's hotter than ever. And much to the left's dismay, the calls for violence are coming from inside their tent. The ugliness starts at the top. Just a few weeks ago, Biden sent an open invitation to the world, warning Trump's a threat to freedom, a threat to our democracy, and literally a threat to everything America stands for. Then he told his donors, it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. This is what Biden said at a rally in Michigan last week.
Donald Trump is a convicted criminal. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump is a threat to this nation.
The left spent years laying the groundwork for violence against Trump. Watch.
He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
How dare he say the things he does? Of course I want to punch him in the face.
Right. Yes. Yes. I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
And with this kind of inspiration, I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact.
They're taking every single sentence they can find out of context and throwing it on Fox News.
Also, but let's look at Jesse Waters' core point, that this falls on Joe Biden because Joe Biden is calling Trump a threat to democracy and all this stuff. That's literally what Donald Trump says constantly about Joe Biden. So why is it different? Especially considering the fact that, and I don't know if we made it clear enough, it was a Republican that shot Donald Trump, not a Democrat.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it.
And
literally.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And just so everybody's understanding this, we don't call Donald Trump Hitler. We don't call them Nazis because we're trying to incite violence. We're trying to point out what their plan is. That's what Project 2025 is. Turn America into World War II Germany. That is what Project 2025 is. The modern day version of Hitler's Germany. So, yes, we're going to continue to call it what it is. We're not going to sugarcoat it. And I refuse to be gaslit, to feel bad about pointing out the facts. Like, I'm so tired. Don't you guys get tired of being lied to? MAGA, I'm talking to you. Guy, if you're still on here.
They love to be lied to.
You get tired of it. Every day you guys have to wake up and justify your existence. and you have to do the most ridiculous mental and verbal gymnastics just to justify why you are the way you are.
Yep.
I don't get it.
And then in the end, you somehow blame everyone but yourself, the people you vote for, your community leaders, all of that. You blame everyone else but the people in your life that have direct impact on your life that led you to the conclusions that you now hold. Just try one more step. Just go one step further and realize what's happening. One step.
You're so close. So I know we have some overlays we can go over. Oh, this didn't take long. I'll show this one.
Really?
And
that isn't the only one I found. There are a couple of them.
No, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
What we spent a lot of time on right now is showing the rhetoric coming from the right, trying to use this, what is a terrible moment in American history. Okay. No one should have been taking shots at anyone, but they're taking this moment, trying to paint the left as responsible, paint Biden as responsible, trying to say that they've been the morally upstanding party all along. Let's go through that a little bit. Some of this we've touched on, some of it's reiterated, but I think it's important. Like the core message of our show is we are not the only ones saying this. You are not the only ones thinking this. We are not alone in this. Okay. So let's just go with this. Keith Edwards, Paul Pelosi survived an assassination attempt. Trump mocked it. Biden called Trump to make sure he's okay. That is in fact the difference. Do you really think Trump would have called Joe Biden in the other? Come on.
Hell no.
When the right-wing scum tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, remember that? Republicans made excuses. When a lunatic beat Paul Pelosi with a hammer, they made jokes. And when Trump sent a mob to attack the Capitol, they made up lies. Don't lecture us about condemning violence.
Yeah.
How about this one? We don't know yet shooter Thomas Matthew Crook's motivation, but it is truly fascinating to watch the party running on the platform of pardoning the violent and deadly January insurrectionists, violently rounding up immigrants, praising the genocide in Palestine, and celebrating the SCOTUS ruling expanding presidential immunity to include killing a potential opponent as an official act, which is exactly what they did. Suddenly clutch pearls at political violence and feign outrage at how we got here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
How about this? Let's make one thing clear from the start. Donald Trump was the victim of a shooting in a country he has been inciting to violence for years. Trump is neither a martyr nor a hero. He is a cause. Now, before I read the last few, at work yesterday, someone who is very much a Trump supporter, whatever, we stay amicable, it is what it is. He couldn't help but poke at me. Not only mentioned that it was a Democrat who shot him because he contributed money, but also said the words, "Your side made him a martyr." And I looked him dead in the eyes without any emotion. And I said, "He's not a martyr. He's alive. Martyrs are dead." And I just walked away from him.
He's not a victim.
What else do we got? Oh, the man stood up on stage, Donald Trump, and said, "Shoot them," when black people marched in the streets. But I'm a bad person for not sympathizing over him being grazed by glass. It's true.
Exactly.
And this is what we're all feeling right now. Excited to spend the next few days / weeks being lectured about the dangers of inflammatory political speech by people who've spent the last few years cheerleading civil war. What about this? Remember these? Because I remember when Donald Trump was at a rally on Long Island and he forwarded or posted a picture or a video of a truck that had this sticker on it.
Yeah.
Remember
Donald
that?
Trump posted that
So
on
you-
his Truth Social account.
In no way calling for political violence against our president. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So if you guys want to keep playing the victim card and you guys want to keep being lied to, and if you don't want to listen to us, honestly, we don't give a shit if you listen to us or not, because we're just going to worry about the rest of the country, the majority of the country. We have to unite everybody else. MAGA is lost. Okay. They're gone. Boom. Brainwashed, out of here. Some of them might be savable. Most of them are going to live the rest of their lives in shame. Unless Donald Trump wins or they do some kind of hostile takeover because of Project 2025 and force their way in. Anyway, let me get into a couple more of these videos. So let's look at, those videos that we showed of Boebert and MTG. Those were before they found out the shooter was a Republican and a Trump supporter. So you think after they found out this guy was Republican and that he had Trump flags and Trump signs in his front yard, you think they would stop saying that, right?
Well, that's what a decent, logical, reasonable human would do.
Right. No. So let's start with Vivek. Our guy, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh my God. Literally a lapdog.
I have never seen a man emasculate themselves. Maybe Tim Scott. Because apparently, I don't know if anybody knows this, Tim Scott broke up with his fake girlfriend. Apparently, they didn't need her for any more appearances because he didn't get picked for VP. So he kicked her to the curb. He took her off the payroll. I can't believe they hired him a girlfriend, dude. That shit is so funny. Allegedly. Whatever.
Wait.
All right. Where's the banner? Throw it up there. Do we have it? Allegedly. We should just leave that running for the whole show.
Forever. Yeah.
That's our permanent disclaimer, allegedly. All right, let's play Vivek's response. And this is insane.
That has called a Republican president a tyrant, a dictator, said it would be the end of the United States of America as we know it, said he would make us a laughing stock on the global stage. And those are exact quotes, actually, of what they said about Abraham Lincoln. So the Lincoln hat, you might have wanted me to remember that. Those were words that the Democrat-led media said about the first ever Republican president before he was shot and assassinated in 1865. So think about that in the moment that we live in today. We came within, Lincoln actually spoke at this convention.
This guy loves his own voice. Look at him. He thinks he's so freaking clever. I have made a point. You will enjoy that point.
That was on the eve of a nation that was on the brink of civil war. That's right. I think we came
look at that fake pulse.
Second civil war in this country.
My God.
See?
My God.
I had to get up because they just said it. Civil war. That's all they want. And it's funny because all the people in the suits that are calling for civil war, they're not going to be fighting it.
You will. Your kids will.
Exactly.
We won't. We're old as shit now, but your kids will.
It's so pathetic. Okay. Another fun one from the RNC. Shit. Yeah, that is so true. Okay. Who we got next? Oh, Trump Jr. I almost forgot about this video. Trump Jr. crumbling under the simplest of questions see, this is what happens when a real reporter from a real news organization asks a legitimate question. They can't even answer a simple, legitimate question.
Thinking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now. I think you do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay, sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
The nomination continues here in the Florida delegation. We're about to hear from Eric and Don Jr.
He literally asked him about a policy because his dad separated kids from their parents. They did that, and Donald Trump, blamed it on Obama, and then got all pissed off and just. This is what happens when you don't put these people in a controlled environment.
But it's more insidious than that. In my opinion, what you just saw is the way that a Trump administration would handle any media that A, isn't approved, by the way,
absolutely,
and B, doesn't toe the party line. They're going to start treating them as scum. I don't even have to talk to you. I'm going to go to Fox, which is not a legal news organization, okay? But we're not going to talk to the media, which is, by the way. So that's how they're going to treat everything. They're only going to have their approved message, nothing else. No one's going to question them on anything. You just saw it, folks. That and Jittery Don Jr. Jittery Don Jr. Jittery John Jr.
Yeah, these people are celebrating their victory already. Isn't that what it seems like? They're acting like they've already won the election.
So a good friend of mine, I told you this, a
That's
good friend of mine commented before the show on a post I made, how Donald Trump, oddly enough, picked another extremist white guy. Wow. Over
Shocker.
A black guy, a black woman, a woman at all, anyone of any ethnicity that isn't Christian white guy, okay? Because it tells you what they believe. They think that whatever rhetoric they've done, the shooting, all of this has got them the election. They don't need the minorities anymore. They don't need the special interest groups. They got what they need. They got the hearts and minds of America. They don't. Most people in this country hate Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to you, Trump supporters, but getting shot by one of your own supporters is not the flex you think it is. Like they're yelling fight, fight, fight at the RNC. Yeah. You're literally yelling to fight yourself because you got shot by a freaking Republican. A MAGA Republican at that, someone who had Trump signs in their front yard. It wasn't like it was a liberal, libertarian, Democrat. No.
What did Trump do to piss him off? What did Trump do to piss him off that much?
Something happened that kid snapped. Something snapped in that kid and made him do what he did. And I want to know what it is. We may never know because apparently he didn't even have a whole big online presence at all, which is surprising. Most kids his age do. I keep saying kid, he's 20 years old, but I'm 46.
Well,
everybody,
we're old.
He's my kid's age, which is crazy. So that's why I say kid, because I still.
Well, at least your kids chose to vote like adults.
But that's crazy. Like somebody my kid's age, I can't imagine what his parents are going through. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Hopefully we find at least a motive. I want to know why. I guess everybody wants to know why because we're tired of speculating.
We're never going to know because like you said, if there's no online presence, there's likely no manifesto. There's nothing. I mean, if they found something or will find something in his home, a note or something, who knows if we'll ever know. They haven't released the medical report yet.
Yeah, all we know is he was a registered Republican. The $15 donation we know has to be bullshit because he would have been 17 years old at the time. So another person with
what's his dad's name? Is he a junior? How funny would that be?
He's not. But another Thomas Crooks could have donated to this organization.
Some people
like
have
they had
the
a social
same
security
name.
number and there's actually another Jeremy Baker in my town of 35,000 people.
There is another Mike Foligno in my family, my older cousin.
There you go.
There you go.
Right. Last but not least, let's talk about the Heritage Foundation's Trump's newest VP pick. Yeah, I saw it. Did you see the interview with Kevin Roberts? He came right out and said it. We're good friends. I'm smiling ear to ear.
Yep.
So if people don't know, JD Vance,
along with what JD Vance has said about Donald Trump, it is well known, very documented, that he is a darling of the Heritage Foundation. See, this is the person that they believe, since it wasn't Mike Pence, it's certainly not Donald Trump, because in one way or another, that guy's on his way out of something. Okay, they know it's not Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's not Lauren Boebert, it's Matt Gaetz, because he's very likely going to go to prison. Okay, they needed someone to be able to put the charm on, play the part, but still be an authoritarian, bigot, racist monster. That's JD Vance, because he loves Project 2025, loves it.
Yeah, because he has dogged Donald Trump since Donald Trump was running for president back in 2016. As a matter of fact, JD Vance is the one that actually called Donald Trump, America's Hitler. And Donald Trump hates disloyalty. So the only thing that makes sense is the Heritage Foundation is like, here's your vice president. He's like, okay, because the Heritage Foundation and Kevin Roberts are pulling the freaking strings. The whole plan, 900 pages, was not written by Trump. They just need Trump because he has the following to possibly get them into the White House, to push their agenda. That's the only reason it's Trump. It could have been any conservative
because they know Trump is too dumb.
Wrote.
The problem with Trump is he's not capable of actually doing what they want other than pushing the buttons and making really horrible pronouncements and orders. They needed someone that understands what their plan is, believes in their plan. Donald Trump believes in nothing but himself. They needed someone to be the brains behind their operation. That's it.
Yeah. The Republican Party is for sale, in case anybody hasn't figured it out. Between the billionaire mega donors, Elon Musk is now donating $45 million a month. The limit used to be $3,300.
Wait, you know what's weird about that? I wonder if MAGA is okay with a non-citizen who was born in Africa, if they're okay with him contributing to an American political campaign.
They don't care. They don't care. He's white and racist. That's all they care about. But yeah, Elon Musk, thanks to SCOTUS, this is why see Project 2025, all these recent events, overturning of Roe v. Wade, making it so corporations can basically donate unlimited amount of money per their First Amendment right. Then you got the Chevron thing getting overturned. Then you got Donald Trump getting supreme or king-like powers now if he gets back into power. Project 2025 has been going on since Donald Trump left off. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's been going on since Donald Trump's first term. They just
if he had 4 more years, we would be in a hellscape right now.
Full-on dictatorship. Full-on dictatorship. They learned from their mistakes the last time. They know exactly what they're doing this time.
That's the problem.
It's not going to be the same.
You hit the nail on the head. Donald Trump didn't learn anything because he's a moron. Donald Trump only thinks about what will provide him instant gratification. The people that needed Trump, learned. And that's why J.D. Vance is the vice presidential candidate.
Right. And that's why
I can't wait for that debate with Kamala. Oh, boy, I can't wait for that
She's
debate.
going to smoke him. The dude's been a senator for a year and a half, and he's not been a politician before that. What is going on in this country? But that's why I said at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to say it again before we leave, and I have a couple more videos to show you before we get out of here. One of the Lincoln Project video, J.D. Vance, that I just have to play. That's why I said at the beginning of the show, before I made any of my claims, that you guys need to understand in the preamble for Project 2025, before you even get to the plan itself, it physically says, and you can check it if you want, or believe me if you want, because we don't bullshit on the show. It's the one thing we don't do. We go off, but we tell the truth. It says, this is our last chance. If you're trying to overthrow a fucking government, and you have the funding, and you have the personnel, and you know it's your last chance, how far are they willing to go? And I don't think people are thinking big enough. Okay, you got to think bigger. These people are willing to do anything to get into power and destroy this country.
We saw that they were willing to do it.
Hyperbolic at all.
Let me tell you, we know what they're willing to do because they're currently doing it. And we know how far they're willing to go because they tried to storm the Capitol. It failed because they got a bunch of morons to be their foot soldiers, and their idiot leader is a moron. Okay? But now they're putting the pieces in place. Okay? They're putting them in place in places where maybe a Mike Pence had a moral moment and decided not to screw up our country. J.D. Vance has said he would not have certified the election. J.D. Vance would have handed this country to Donald Trump, Project 2025, and the Christian Nationalists. He says it. Go look it up.
And that's why I'm worried about why they're celebrating so much. I feel like this is the part that bothers me the most. They're celebrating way too much for people that are behind in the polls, that are unpopular with the mass part of the population of this country, but they are celebrating like they've already won. And that bothers me. And that should bother everybody. What are they planning to do? What do they have up their sleeve in the next 4 months as they get increasingly desperate? Anyway, let me show you this video that Lincoln Project was nice enough to make about J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's future vice president. Hopefully not.
The Lincoln Project salutes our fellow Never Trump activist, J.D. Vance. He led the way in opposing Trump in 2016, even calling Trump our Hitler.
J.D. Vance speculated that Trump might be America's Hitler.
Trump is the fruit of the party's collective neglect. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical a-hole like Nixon or that he's America's Hitler.
Are you a racist? JD joined John Kasich as the only major Republicans in Ohio to vote against Donald Trump in 2016, and he boldly told the truth about Trump voters.
We are, whether we like it or not, the party of lower income, lower education white people.
Trump is cultural heroin.
Fellow Christians, everyone is watching us when we apologize for this man.
JD Vance is a multimillionaire big tech banker with a degree from Yale, our kind of candidate. He gets it. J.D. Vance for Senate, the Lincoln Project candidate.
God damn. So obviously that's, I can see why Donald Trump would have picked him. He's been so kind words over the years. Anyway, we still don't get it. I'm hoping some people on the right or center-leaning Republicans, I don't know how to say it, come to their senses and see that this entire movement is bullshit.
This entire movement is a real movement, a bowel movement.
This movie, it's a bowel movement. It's a painful, we're constipated as a country, and MAGA is this giant hunk of shit that we're trying to push out, and we just can't seem to do it. We might have to get a nurse to get a hand in there.
Yeah, because, and then you know what? I was just going to get even, no, we're done. Because I was going to get really creepy with it. No. Nope. No.
I'm sorry. I watched too many videos on TikTok, and they showed this woman just walking through the ER with a tray with this turd like this big on it. And I was like, oh, that's America trying to pass MAGA right now. All right. Anyway, that's all we have for today's show.
That's what we're leaving everyone with. That visual.
A giant turd.
Your closing video better be great today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely on point. Okay. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back on the Sunday. We're going back to our normal schedule. Yep. Also, if you guys want to see us keep going with this and go even further and try and improve our format, and you'd like to donate, we do have a GoFundMe link in the description of this video. Don't have to, obviously. It's not something we'd like to do, but we've honestly come as far as we can with the budget that we have, which is none. We've actually built this show with 2 laptops, a couple cameras, and a couple microphones, believe it or not. That's it. Have a good night. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. We hope we got our point across. Don't lose focus, because obviously we're not. The only way we're going to beat Trump is at the ballot box.
Vote.
We have to win in November.
And watch this. It's as simple as this. Go vote and don't shoot anyone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Violence is never the answer. Never the answer. So
except in video.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, everybody, have a good night. And like always, we'll talk to you soon.
At first, they seem ridiculous. The big egos, the bad ideas. Some of them seem almost comical. Not here, the people say. Yet men like these find their following because they know how to use hate and fear. Fear of foreigners, immigrants, and minorities. Of Jews, Muslims, Christians. They dismiss the experts, demonize the press, promise they alone can deliver better lives and brighter futures. If they could only be rid of the obstacles to that power. Eventually, enough people buy it. They hand the fate of their nations over to madmen. But then suddenly, it's not so funny. The military deploys on the streets to protect the leader. Names appear on enemy lists. Opposition voices are silenced or imprisoned. The leader promises the right bloodlines will survive, and the wrong ones will be purged. It's an old story, one that could never happen here. The very idea is ridiculous, almost comical. There's no one dividing us, no one telling us who to hate. Almost comical. There's no one dividing us, no one telling us who to hate.